What the heck, and welcome to the largest cruise ship in the whole world. This is the Wonder of the Seas. Let's go check it out. As soon as you enter, you realize how huge this ship really is. And it literally has everything. There are 3 epic water slides on board, multiple pools, and a really awesome flow rider that I'm not very good at. There's mini golf, awesome arcade games, and even a massive slide that happens to be the fastest way down from floor 16 all the way to 6. There's a basketball court, 4 machines with unlimited ice cream, a massive outdoor movie theater, and just like New York, they've got their own Central Park. We're not done just yet because there's a whole theater for performances, a stunning carousel, a zip line, and they've even got a Johnny Rockets. That's not even half of it. This place is incredible, so let me know if you want a part 2. What the heck? Here are 3 Pakistani foods you gotta try before you die. Now don't die, but if you do, eat these first. First up, we have a Pakistani ice cream called Kulfi. It's super cheap, made from almonds, and it tastes delicious. Secondly, you've got to try their yummy rice dish biryani. It's really good with lentils, and honestly, I had this every day. And lastly, if you're daring enough, you can try yak. You know, that really hairy cow thing? For me, yak was yuck because I didn't personally like the taste, but it's still worth saying you tried it. What the heck? Last week I did something that is illegal in Australia but completely normal in Pakistan. Check this out. Last week, me and my friend were driving a tuk-tuk through Pakistan when we found these kids on the side of the road. So obviously, we picked them up. Although we were strangers, they decided to hop in because they needed someone to drop them at school. As soon as they got in the tuk-tuk, they were very confused. So I decided to use the camera filters to try and make them feel a little bit more comfortable, and it worked. And a few minutes later, we had arrived at their school. Do your homework. Bye. Now, I don't advise getting into strangers' cars, and if I was in Australia, I'd probably end up in jail. But in Pakistan, something like this would be seen as completely normal. Oh, that was the best. What the heck, and welcome to Pakistan's most dangerous road. The trail starts right there. Let's go. This is Fairy Meadows Road, and it happens to be one of the most dangerous roads in Pakistan, which makes sense because this road is carved out on the edge of a cliff and has a really steep drop. Although this road is very narrow, it's actually a 2-way, which means it can make for some crazy moments when you're trying to overtake. Plus, you have to put all your trust in the local driver, and that can be tough to do when they're on the phone. It was by far one of the craziest roads I've ever been on, and if you do like heart-pumping situations, you should definitely check it out. Fly to a country that no one expects? Okay, let's go. So I grabbed one last croissant and said goodbye to the beautiful Paris, jumped on a plane and went halfway across the world. And after 15 hours of flying, I had made it to my 71st country. I'm in Pakistan. What? It's so hot here, it's ridiculous. What the heck? I just hiked up an active volcano in Italy and you will not believe what I saw. Check this out. As soon as my flight landed, I could see an active volcano from the window. So obviously, the first thing I had to do was hike straight to it. And wow, this volcano was huge, and when I looked closely, I could even see lava flowing down the side. And all I knew is I had to get closer, but apparently it was way too dangerous. Lucky for me, I had a drone. So I took off and flew directly to the lava, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This lava footage was so incredible that I had to see it at night. So I waited until it was pitch black and then flew my drone once again. The lava looks like it's something directly out of Stranger Things, and this goes down as some of the best footage I've ever captured. Plus, it looks so magical that I kinda wish I was in the Upside Down. What the heck? Here are 3 yummy foods you have to try before you die. Now, don't die, guys, but if you do, eat these first. First up, we have granita, which is a Sicilian dessert. It's kinda like an icy sorbet, and it is really, really yummy. While you're in Italy, you have to try cannoli. It's like a cheese-filled tube, and it is so delicious. And lastly, to finish our Sicilian adventure, we have the traditional food arancini. Italians know what they're doing because these things are packed with flavor and they're really cheesy. What the heck, and welcome to one of the craziest things I have seen whilst being here in Nepal. Check this out. This is a Nepalese porter, and they are the delivery men of the Himalayas. They can carry up to 60 kilos, and they're constantly going up and down some of the steepest hikes in the world. Plus, they use their head to carry the load, and a lot of them just wear sandals or Crocs, which is incredible. How can they do that? And I can barely even walk. You could hike the Annapurna Trail. Well, that's a 6-day hike, but you know what? Let's do it. Now, they say Nepal is heaven on earth, and flying in with views like this, I can totally see why. But it's also hell, because Annapurna Base Camp was way harder than I thought it would be. I'm 4,000 meters high, and I'm literally dying. Not only is it really hard to walk in this altitude, but the weather is crazy. We're talking sunshine, rain, hail, and snow. That's right, snow. It was sunny, literally hours ago. But we didn't let the weather stop us, because after 3 days of hiking, we made it to base camp. Although the trip was hard, it was incredibly beautiful and it was one of the best experiences ever.
It doesn't get much better than this.
And if you're really brave, you can do the whole hike in Birkenstocks.
Which makes absolutely no sense, especially the snow parts.
The Dead Sea is the perfect place if you don't know how to swim. Yes and no, let me tell you why. Because the Dead Sea is made up of 34% salt, you instantly float when you enter the water. But just because the water forces you to float, it doesn't mean you can't drown. Sadly, there has been a few reports of people getting flipped over by strong winds, swept away, and swallowing salt water. Now, obviously this isn't very likely, but if you do manage to get some salt water in your eyes or you dunk your head under, it is going to sting. It's called the Dead Sea for a reason and only splash the friends you hate. Come to New York City and let's eat the best bagel in the world? Okay, let's go. So I grabbed my bags, booked my flights, and head straight for the airport. The flight was only 4 hours and you didn't even need to wear a mask. And now I'm in New York, so let's get a bagel. So I met up with Brett and he said Tompkins Square Bagel was the best bagel in the world. All their bagels are made fresh and they have a million types of cream cheese.
We have secured the goods.
I mean, look at this bagel. This thing looks amazing and it actually tasted incredible. I give it a 10 out of 10, would eat again. What the heck? This is one of the craziest things that I've done for an Instagram photo, and I've done a lot of crazy things, so let's check it out. A couple of years ago, I was exploring the Faroe Islands when I stumbled upon this incredible rock formation in the water. As soon as I saw that beautiful arch, I needed a photo in front of it. The only problem was the ocean current was really strong and it was like 5 degrees in the water. I don't really know what we're doing, but we're going in the freezing water. So I threw on a wetsuit and grabbed some rope and tied myself to the back of the boat. Because the current was so strong, we couldn't actually get to the location and we needed the boat to drag us there. Oh my gosh, it's freezing! Although it was cold, the photos came out really good, and I'm still alive to tell the tale. Don't reverse on me! What the heck? Here are 3 foods to try before you die. Don't die, but if you do, eat these first. Starting with freshly made churros. Originally from Spain or Portugal, I'm not too sure, but one thing I am sure about is the fact they are delicious. Second is a prickly pear, which is actually a fruit that grows from a cactus. They're slightly dangerous to eat if you don't know what you're doing, but they actually taste alright. And lastly, you gotta try the Mexican street food elote, which is corn on the cob with mayonnaise, cheese, and spicy sauce. And I know it sounds a little gross, but honestly, it is actually really good.